Guys, I did say a long time ago that if there's one thing that is going to take down Ramaphosa is the issue of Phala Phala. And even with the ANC conference in 2027, this issue of Phala Phala is going to be raised. And we know again that the ANC is not happy about the government of national unity, which was Ramaphosa's great plan. The ANC actually wants to go into coalition with the EFF and Umkhonto weSizwe Party. And I'm sure the likes of Paul Mashatile and Panyaza Lesufi, they cannot wait to see Ramaphosa go so that they can speak with their friends in the EFF and Umkhonto weSizwe Party. And with this matter of Phala Phala, the ANC knows that Ramaphosa has actually committed a crime. South Africans, they know that the president has committed a crime. And we also know that the Minister of Police, Senzo Mchunu, has helped Ramaphosa to cover up the story because Senzo Mchunu has sealed the reports of the investigations into Phala Phala. So now, as South Africans, guys, we don't know what happened with Phala Phala. The president told us that, no, you saw that money that was stolen in my farm. That money came with Hazim Mustafa to buy some livestock for me. And apparently that Hazim Mustafa guy did not even collect that stock that he bought from Ramaphosa. So the question still stands. Where is the money coming from? And whose money is it? Whose money is it? Oh, man. Guys, in this country, man, we are literally run by criminals. And it has actually gotten to a point where these people are not even hiding their criminal ways anymore. But I'm happy with some of these interviews that Sizompofu Walsh has been doing, more especially with this interview that he did with this investigative journalist from News 24, talking about the same matter of Phala Phala. I mean, guys, I just want you to listen to what this man is going to say. This is going to shock you. Like how Ramaphosa is always shocked. This is actually going to shock you because one of the things that this gentleman is saying over here is that the famous couch that actually hid the millions and millions of dollars is not there anymore. Where is the couch? Where is the couch? And I think we could actually get the results from those investigation reports that Senzo Mchunu has actually sealed. And again, we are living with a bunch of political parties that are not pushing hard on this matter because I think Senzo Mchunu should have actually been forced to release the report of the investigation into Phala Phala. But guys, do you see any of these politicians actually going hard at Ramaphosa with this matter of Phala Phala? How many politicians, how many political parties are saying we need to get to the bottom of what happened in Phala Phala? How many of these political parties and politicians are doing that? As for the political parties that are in the government of national unity with the ANC, I understand these people are protecting themselves and they are protecting their blue lights. You know how politicians are in this country. They will do anything for the blue lights. But again, I'm just speaking about the political parties that are not in the government of national unity. Why are you guys not pushing to get to the bottom of what happened to Phala Phala? Why didn't any of these people say anything when the reports came out that Senzo Mchunu has sealed the report of the investigations into Phala Phala? They are all complicit. They are all complicit. They are just there. They are just protecting each other. This is what the South African politicians are doing. And once you see it, guys, once you see it, you can never unsee it.
The key people who's been reporting about this issue and keeping it alive.
Yeah.
I mean, where do we begin with Phala Phala? Recently, the couch we hear went missing.
Yeah, so and I'm sorry that I'm laughing at it, but it's just one. The whole story is just so bizarre.
Yeah.
When the Hawks arrived at the farm, about a month after Arthur Fraser opened his case in 2022, the couch, the infamous couch under which the dollars, the cushions were hidden, was no longer there. And that automatically leads to several other questions. Like, okay, what sort of a couch was this? Was it a special couch that had, a recess in the bottom to store things? Was it maybe one of those fold-out sleeper couch things that has those drawers in the bottom?
Did it have like buffalo patterns on it?
And honestly, man, it is insane. The fact that we have never seen that couch as South Africans, it is insane. All of us are speaking about the couch. But now that these gentlemen are speaking about this couch, it actually hurts me that I have never seen this couch. My feelings just got hurt that we have never actually seen this couch. And that should tell you everything that you need to know about these people in the government. And it tells you what you need to know about the media in this country. It tells you everything. And it is unfortunate because in this country, people like these ones, man, people that are doing hard work, you know, the kind of work that we are doing, it is nothing compared to what the investigative journalists are doing. And once these people have completed their investigations, they will go out and they will write an article then and they will release it to the public. And somehow South Africans do not pay attention to some of these things that are revealed by these investigative journalists. But I know it has to do with the race. It has to do with the race. And this is how easily the ANC would actually defend themselves to anything that this gentleman will say. You see this gentleman, a white man talking about Ramaphosa's Phala Phala scandal and how some of the things that have happened are weird and we cannot understand them. There is absolutely no way that the ANC will take anything that this man says of value because he is a white man. And the ANC will actually push that message. It doesn't matter even if this story becomes big, the ANC will say, no, you know how these white people are in South Africa. They just want to destroy us as black politicians. So you must not listen to anything that these people are saying. And this is a fault of South Africans. This is our own fault, guys. This is our own fault. Sorry for actually interrupting this video because my intention is not to interrupt this video. Let me try to get this video to play all of it because I think like it is a nice piece of content. And anyway, guys, shout out to Sizumpofu Walsh. This is a brilliant work.
The key people who's been reporting about this issue and keeping it alive.
Yeah.
I mean, where do we begin with Phala Phala? Recently, the couch we hear went missing.
Yeah, so you know, and I'm sorry that I'm laughing at it, but it's just one, the whole story is just so bizarre.
Yeah.
When the Hawks arrived at the farm, you know, about a month after Arthur Fraser opened his case in 2022, the couch, the infamous couch under which the dollars, the cushions were hidden, was no longer there. And you know, that automatically leads to several other questions. Like, okay, what sort of a couch was this? Was it a special couch that had, you know, a recess in the bottom to store things? Was it maybe one of those fold-out sleeper couch things that has those drawers in the bottom?
Did it have like buffalo patterns on it?
You know, leopard print skin. like what? And most importantly, why isn't it there anymore? And then you ask the presidency.
Yeah, that blew my mind, the response.
And they get back and they say, no, it was sent for reupholstery. The only couch in the whole house that was sent for reupholstery is this particular couch. Now, you know, obviously we can't say that anyone interfered with the crime scene.
They did.
We can't say that this was deliberate to try and throw the police off the track because remember, the police were never supposed to find out about this. The entire reason why we can legitimately say that this was an attempted cover-up is because there was no police case registered for the break-in. The Presidential Protection Service ran like a parallel investigation into this. You know, and it just baffles me. It really baffles me that we can write articles and publish these investigations about a story in which the president, money was stolen, a large amount of money, more than he has said was stolen.
And you feel confident that this 580,000 is...
that number is way too low. We obviously don't have, you know, a down to the cent amount that was taken.
Yeah.
But what, and in particular, my colleague Jeff Wicks and I also worked on this story together right at the beginning, is what Jeff was able to show was car purchases. I was able to show property purchases. And we were able to show that they spent a lot more money than what was allegedly taken.
Very interesting.
The amount of $580,000 that is the official version of how much money was there.
Yeah.
They spent that amount on cars alone. Ford Ranger Buckies, Golf GTIs, a Porsche, 2 G-Wagons, a Polo GTI. Emanuela David spent 200,000 Rand on grills, on mouth jewelry.
No ways.
It's things like that. And the one thing that has come out in court so far that I think truly cements this is that the man who drove them from, and this is testimony that's been going on in the trial now recently.
Yeah, this is,
And obviously we can't name him because the court has said we're not allowed to name any of these people. But he drove the burglars.
Right. So the people who stole this money, he was the person transporting them.
Yeah.
Sure.
He drove them from Bella Bella to Rustenburg and then drove Emanuela David specifically from Rustenburg to the East Rand where he purchased a car. Emanuela David gave that man $30,000 in cash.
$30,000.
If you had only stolen 560, how are you giving away 30,000 on the first night?
Yeah. Yeah.
So these are the things that we have to still grapple with, and you know it's flabbergasting to me that we are writing these articles about a sitting president of a country, and the reaction is pretty much just like whatever.
Yep.
You know, can you imagine if someone had broken into Joe Biden's house and stole $10 million? Like the American public would go absolutely bananas.
So true.
And to me, it's like, I don't know if it's just very good PR. I don't know if it's just very good spin. But I genuinely feel that even people within the ANC are not shocked enough by this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one day we'll be able to tell the whole story. You know, I've been struggling to piece it together.
Yeah.
I'm literally not joking when I say I speak to people in relation to Phala Phala at least once a week. Just building, just getting there. And we'll be able to tell the whole story one day. But right now, you know, I think if the South African public really need to pay more attention to the trial of these burglars.
Absolutely. Because this person who transported the people who broke in and stole the money is on the stand and has recently said that he was coerced into at least parts of his statement, I believe.
Yeah, and I don't think it's true. I think this witness is going to be in quite a lot of trouble legally.
Yeah, he's now turned hostile.
He's turned hostile. He's changing his version. I think there's going to be a degree of legal trouble for him down the road. At the end of the day, the testimony of the driver is critical in placing people in certain places at certain times.
Sure.
But there is other evidence.
Yeah.
You know, it will come out eventually, and this has been mentioned in the bail application as well. There is cell phone data evidence to put the group of burglars, you know, in that area around the farm on the night. And, you know, this wasn't some super secret sort of special operations group of people. That they were a bunch of bumbling burglars. You know, they broke into the wrong farmhouse the night before. They broke into the next door farm. And then they broke into this farm the early hours of February the 9th and then made off with the money. And they didn't even crawl across bushes or do anything. They literally walked down the main road that leads to the entrance of the farm and were picked up there. So, you know, it's the story of Phala Phala, in as much as the story of the 500,000 Rand donation by Bosasa to President Cyril Ramaphosa's 2017 ANC campaign, which has also sort of slowly died a death.
Yeah.
Also, I was the only person to report about the fact that Andile Ramaphosa was paid, you know, 3 million Rand by Bosasa for these sort of deals that they were going to do in African countries. And that has also sort of gone nowhere. And that leads us to, you know, why people, because people have asked me this question before, why are you writing about Cloete and Thomas Murray?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, these two liquidators who were murdered, and it's not just for shock value. It's not just because I happen to know Cloete, you know, or had interacted with him on, you know, numerous things over many years.
Yeah.
The problem is this Bosasa thing. If we look at the Zondo recommendations, there's still a lot of people, very senior ANC people, that need to be charged. And we've seen former Deputy Minister Thabang Makwetla has now appeared in court and been granted bail.
Yeah. Yeah.
In connection with security upgrades.
Yeah.
You know, and if we truly followed this line down, and the last time I spoke to Cloete Murray was days before he was killed, and he was waiting for a constitutional court ruling on court applications around the liquidation of Bosasa that would allow him to carry on with the liquidation and subpoena people to appear before a secret inquiry in the liquidation. And the people he was going to subpoena are Andile Ramaphosa, Gwede Mantashe, Nomvula Mokonyane, Tabang Makwetla. You know, that's why in that very first story that we wrote after the shooting on the 19th of March, I'll never forget this.
Yeah.
You know, I wrote a story that said high-profile ANC politicians was in Murray's crosshairs.
Yeah.
And that's as true today as it was then. The reality is, I'm not saying these ANC figures had anything to do with their murder.
Maybe they do.
We know sort of why they were murdered and by who. That's a whole different story. But the net effect of this has been an absolute positive for these senior ANC figures. And right at the center of that is President Cyril Ramaphosa and Andile Ramaphosa. And I've kept on asking these questions and writing these stories. And it just amazes me that the public sort of there's a little bit of chatter around the story when it comes out.
Yeah.
And Phala Phala will obviously never go away because I think we all know the story about the buffalo is probably not true, but it's about proving it.
I've heard some tall tales, but that one takes the cake.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all heard the same stories. It was money from some Middle Eastern country for ANC funding. It was smuggled in a couch from a house in Bryanston all the way down to Bella Bella. It was this, it was that, it was this or the other. The truth is we may never know 100% where that money actually came from. I mean, we've also reported this. Hazim Mustafa, who was the Sudanese guy who, you know, supposedly brought the money to the farm.
Yeah.
He's facing fraud charges himself because of the fact that the documents he submitted, that he said, oh, here's where I declared where I brought the money in. Those documents are fraudulent. So, you know, we write these stories and we publish them. And it's sort of maybe people are just tired. Maybe they just don't want to hear about, you know, is this president also compromised in one way or another? Maybe it's just too deep for them. But this is important stuff. And,
It's
you
very
know,
important stuff.
as much as we want to think that Cyril Ramaphosa is perhaps something different to what we had before, we have to remember it's the same ANC party. We now have proof over the past 4 or 5 years that this talk of reform was lip service.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't think that there is anyone within the ANC today who can truly reform that party into something that can live up to the ideals of what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, the question that I'm asking myself sometimes is, guys, is it worth it, man? Is it worth it? When you have investigative journalists like this gentleman over here, literally putting themselves in danger, putting their lives in danger to get these stories for South Africans. And once they publish these stories, South Africans do not even care. Is it worth it, man? Is it worth it for these people that are putting themselves at risk to whistleblow some of the nonsense that is happening in the government? I mean, like, this is how it feels like in this country. This is how it feels like. It feels like it is not even worth it to fight for this country because the people of this country are not even fighting for this country. South Africans, majority of them who happen to be black people, majority of them that are living in poverty, you would actually think that South Africans would stand up for their country and say that, guys, we are not going to allow this beautiful country of ours to be turned into a narco-mafia state by this organization. But the South Africans are sitting down. They are chilling. They don't care. They don't care. Because if this gentleman has actually released these articles and people did not pay too much attention into these articles, what's going to happen with that one article where he has actually concluded everything? What is going to happen when he presents us with a full story to say that, guys, we know that you have been wondering what happened in Phala Phala, and this is what happened in Phala Phala? Are South Africans actually going to pay attention to that? South Africans are not going to care. They are not going to care. And I disagree. South Africans are not tired of anything. But if there's one thing that I have actually realized, that South Africans, the only thing that they want to talk about is the issues of race. That is the only thing that South Africans wants to talk about. If you want to see South Africans engaged, even on social media, showing a bit of solidarity, it has to do with race. If it doesn't have to do with race, anything goes. Anything goes. And the politicians in this country, they know for a fact that this is how things are moving in this country. I mean, like, honestly, guys, like, sometimes, I would sit down with my sister and I would tell him, and like, sometimes I don't think this is worth it. I don't think this is worth it. Maybe I should be doing something with my life instead of being here every day, trying to speak with South Africans, trying to do my bit to save this country. It's not worth it. I hear a lot of people, man. I will see a lot of people on the comment sections that, Thomas, yeah. Who is paying you to say all of these things? You are being paid by such and such and such and such. Guys, I'm not doing this for the money. I'm not doing this for the money. If I was actually doing anything for the money, I could have picked a better career. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this for the love of South Africans. I'm doing this for the love that I have for this country and for the people of this country. If there's one thing about me, I know that South Africans, we deserve a chance to actually to get to know one another. But the politicians in this country, they are doing everything in their power for South Africans not to know each other. We know that we come from a painful past. And we know that there are people that are holding grudges because of what happened in apartheid. But if we have to be honest, some of us did not even experience apartheid. We are only reading about apartheid. But this hate that has been pushed by black people towards other races, it is something that we cannot join. Because if these people are saying that these Afrikaners, these white people, they were so hateful towards us, now we have to hate them too. It is not good. I don't think even God would actually want you to return hate with hate. We cannot do that. We cannot be hateful. We cannot teach our children to be hateful. South Africans deserve a chance to get to know each other. It is so sad that we live in one of the most diverse countries in the world, but we don't know of other people's cultures. Just like how I am. Like, I would like maybe someday to go to a Muslim restaurant and sit there and have a conversation with these people and get to learn their culture. I would love to spend a weekend with an Indian family somewhere in KZN and get to learn about these people's culture. But the politicians, the narrative that has been pushed by politicians in this country is that, no, you guys must not even try to get along. This is the reason why every time when the Springboks win, you will see these politicians, they will go out so fast to tell South Africans that, no, you cannot celebrate together. No, you guys must remember that you hate each other. Black people, why are you celebrating with the Afrikaners? You remember what Food did to you. Why are you celebrating with these Afrikaners? White people, why are you celebrating with these people? The Indian communities, why are you celebrating with these people? The politicians are there to remind the South Africans every time that you should not even be celebrating together. You should not even be sharing the spaces. We are told today that one of the most brutal things that apartheid has did was to segregate black people and other races. And now the democracy says that, okay, let's come, let's live together. But the same politicians are still pushing the segregation that they were initially against. They are pushing that. And when you have people like Orania that are saying, okay, it's fine. Now that you guys are saying all of these things, we understand that you hate us. Let us go into our small space and live there and not bother you. The same politicians will come and say, no, we want to live in these spaces. And when these people say, okay, welcome, all of us, let's live in one space, they say that, no, you cannot do that. This is a fast and loose game that the politicians are playing with South Africans. This is what is happening. And I pray for the day where South Africans will actually wake up and get to see what is actually happening. I pray that South Africans one day will actually get to see the politicians for exactly what they are. Because if you look at our politicians in this country, we don't have the brightest politicians in this country. This is the reason why most rational people actually get upset with what is happening in this country, because they're like, how can you be fooled by these people, man? How can you be fooled by some of these ridiculous things that these people are saying on the podiums? How? How? We can see exactly these people for what they are. How can you allow these people to fool you? Unfortunately, guys, this is where we are as the country. The only thing that South Africans care about, it is the race. The only issues that South Africans will actually entertain is the issues of race. About how their favorite politicians are corrupt, what their favorite politicians are doing. They don't care about that. They don't care about that. This is why I say it is the fault of these people that have kept these corrupt and inept cadres in power. It is their fault that the country is where it is today. And that is where I'm going to end. Guys, what are your thoughts? Please tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the like button. And the most important part is subscribe. You know I like this part, man. Subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.